Chili's right now. I took myself out to lunch because I wanted to write a couple of notes for this new movement I'm starting called the Pass It On movement. Basically, I just want to write a bunch of encouraging messages on flashcards, papers, notes, and I just want to distribute them to as many strangers as I possibly can. I just want to try to spread as much positivity, love, and hope. I know my best friend Gray is going to help me out whenever she gets here. I got a good meal and I'm going to start writing and listening to music. I will see you and talk to you later. Being a human is so frustrating. I'm watching this video right now. Basically, it's Daryl, the guy who channels Bashar, the extraterrestrial who's communicating through him. It's confirming everything I already knew from the pieces I put together from the Y-File series and everything I really watched from that channel, because I think that channel was really the start of all of this, and then I got into NDEs, and I feel like everything is playing out the way it's supposed to, and I'm learning all of this in the correct order that I'm supposed to. It's all so wild. Secret cities in the world is so wild. But I was right. We are literally created from extraterrestrials. It's dialectically thinking. We're taking too many parts of history and separating them when they actually go together like puzzle pieces. Not only are we from evolution, but we also are from aliens. The aliens in the Bible, or God in the Bible, or all that kind of stuff, they created us for slave labor. I'm literally going to post my series of reading the Bible on YouTube eventually. If you watch my videos on how I was explaining what I was reading, I read it how it is. I saw it for what it was. I think my brain has always functioned in the way that it needs to for the future. I think I've always been ahead of my time. People have never understood me because they couldn't. People have never understood me because they've been taught not to. But I am naturally just thinking in a way that we need to think to have a better future, because I am very insightful. I'm a very intelligent person. I'm not the smartest. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm an expert at everything, but there are certain things that I've put patterns together and I'm like, how has society not put these together? Because to me, it's just how I'm wired. It's how I think. I am not from Earth. I'm not from here. I don't think in the ways that you're supposed to think in this current society. We're moving out of this society, thankfully. We're going to be moving into a much better reality soon, and we're going to be making a lot of changes, and I'm going to be a part of those changes. But holy shit, it is so frustrating being an intelligent person in a world of ignorant people. It is literally run and sustained. It's unsustainable though, so it's not even being sustained, but it is currently being sustained by ignorant people. Obviously, again, yes, as a human, I don't know if this guy is telling the truth or not, or if he's being manipulative, but it makes sense. If you read the Bible outside of the lens of what the church teaches, it all lines up with this. It all makes sense. Daryl even said that the aliens wanted humans to be dumb. I said that when I first read the Bible, and how God didn't want Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because then they would be knowledgeable. They would recognize his actions as evil. They would understand. So he did not want that. That's why he got so angry. But people don't see it like that because they've been taught to think that the devil influenced them and that it was bad. They went against God. Girl, literally, you're brainwashed. I made a video tonight about how I think that we are one of the last generations to be religious, because now we live in the age of information. Religious people will not get away with what they've gotten away with for centuries, which I say that in a sense as if they've been doing something wrong, in the sense of like, they don't know what they're doing is wrong because they've been taught to think it's right. But some of them might know what they're doing is wrong and they're using it for their own benefit, but we're going to move past that. But I'm scared that if I post it, I'm going to get kicked out, and we go back to this whole entire concept of I need to be my full authentic self. I want to show up as who I am. I want to be an example to people that you can be your true authentic self without fearing losing people. But I'm just so in fear of my living situation because I have packages I'm waiting on, and I have things I'm trying to plan for. And if something were to spontaneously happen, like conflict, or I get kicked out, I selfishly don't want to deal with that conflict and situation. So I'm almost suppressing who I am. That way I don't anger the people that I live with. And moving on to the next thing I want to talk about, I think I slipped into spiritual psychosis for a hot little second there. I believe I'm a soul. I believe that we are all part of one. We are all part of existence. We are all a part of God, universe, source, whatever you want to refer to it as. I have faith. I have these beliefs, but I started to slip into like psychosis, where I started to think the end of the world was going to happen for some people, and that I knew what was going to happen in the future. That's whenever you kind of have to take a step back and be like, okay, whenever you start to really think you know what's going to happen in the future, you have to reevaluate yourself. And one of my mutuals, Jen, I talk about her so much. She posted a video about how one of her mutuals are in spiritual psychosis. She's being called called to basically post this message, and I was like, oh shit, I think she's talking about me. I slipped a little bit into too much of a delusion rather than just a faithful belief, where I started to believe I knew what was going to happen in the future, and that the solar eclipse was going to be the change of the entire world, and that the power grids were going to go out, and I knew this. But I'm pretty sure that was spiritual psychosis, and I'm going to be okay. I'm just trying to make sure I'm matching the vibrational frequency I want to be a part of. I'm making sure that I'm spreading as much positivity and love as I can. Today I went to Chili's. I went to my favorite restaurant, which is the first clip from this video. I eventually wrote a note being like, follow your dreams, hope over fear, and I tipped $20. So I hope that made his day a little bit better, and I hope I was able to spread some positivity, because I do want to start this new movement called the Pass It On movement, Pass This On movement, Pass the Positivity. I don't know what I'm going to call it specifically yet. I'm going to write a bunch of different encouraging notes on it and just pass it out to a bunch of random strangers, and I'm pretty sure this is something my best friend Gray is going to help me out with and do with me, so that way we can try to spread as much positive energy and encouragement as we possibly can in these next few weeks, because I just think that this world needs a lot more positive energy. It just needs a lot more positive movement, you know? With the whole being human thing, that is extremely frustrating right now, because whenever you're so aware of the fact that you're a soul, once you die, you're going to be able to unlock all information. Like, to me, I hope you know, my brain is wired to want to know everything. I need to know everything. Start to twitch. I need to know everything. I want to know everything. I'm such a curious person. I want to learn everything. I am so mad that I am still limited. It's like I've unlocked this knowledge that I know my bigger purpose now, but it's like, oh shit, I have to stay this human fucking bitch until I can go home. Actually, I want to experience all of the abilities I'll be able to have as a spirit, as a human, so that way I can experience it with the curiosity and the excitement as a human, like a human being able to unlock their powers. It would be so cool. It would be such a cool experience, and I know I'm going to be able to experience that someday in the future, whenever we have the technologies, whenever aliens are living amongst us, which is going to happen in the next few years. I know I have to be patient. Patience is a virtue. So yeah, I hate being a human because I'm so limited still. I'm still autistic, I'm still bipolar, I still get delusional, I still have BPD. These are all things that just didn't magically disappear the second I realized I was a soul again, which sucks. Everything is playing out the way it's meant to, and I'm just so excited for this next part of my life. The one thing that just still sucks right now is that I feel like I still have to kind of suppress an authentic part of myself in order to have a safe living situation, even though that's not the case. They haven't kicked me out yet, and I've already made multitudes of videos about religion, so I feel like this one video shouldn't be the end of it. I just can't wait to talk to aliens. I hope that this all isn't just a ploy for them to manipulate us again, and that they're telling us that they're going to be here for good reasons, but they're not, and we're just manifesting a reality for them to come into reality just to fuck with us, which I hope is not the case. Please do not do that, please. I just really want to talk to an alien and learn everything that they can teach me. Sit and info dump to me about every small intricate detail of every piece of information known to man and aliens. I'm going to be able to go on a UFO one day. We manifest our reality. We choose what our reality is going to be. I get to choose what timeline I'm on. I'm going to see the aliens. I'm going to be experiencing all of these new advancements in health, in technology, in society. Oh my God, I'm finally going to be able to live in a society where I'm not suppressing every single part of myself because I have to be compliant to these ignorant people. They know they don't educate themselves. They are aware that they do not educate themselves, but then they still are so confident that they are right about everything. I'm not meant for this. I'm not built for that. There's still so much for me to learn, and there's so much I still don't know. I can't even comprehend the amount that I don't know. And I just want to know it. I want to know everything. I want to learn everything. So yeah, being human is extremely frustrating because we are literally at the rock bottom of limitation. I already have lived a life of human limitation. So not only am I limited as a spirit in a human body, but I'm limited as a human. I feel like I'm gonna eventually end up posting the video about religion because, again, I don't want to suppress my authentic self. I need to be a true representation of someone being their true self, regardless of what the consequences will be, because you will be punished for being yourself in the society. You will be punished for being intelligent. You will be punished for being authentic. You will be punished for not being the status quo, for not fitting into the cookie cutter boxes they want you to fit in for their own control. And they literally brainwash their citizens to do that to you. Cut that last part out. shut the fuck up, Steph. Regardless of what happens, because I know everything's gonna work out the way it's meant to, and everything that happens happens for a reason. I'm super excited for this next part of my life because it's still playing out, it's still unfolding. I have so much abundance coming into my life this weekend because I know I'm gonna be working, I'm gonna be hanging out with my best friend. I'm so excited because we're gonna be able to go outside and I'm gonna be able to listen to sound bowls and we're gonna be able to just be together and talk about anything. And I just feel so lonely all the time. I feel so isolated. So I'm finally happy I'm gonna have someone I can conversate with about the things I'm even interested in, they're interested in, because I feel like I am always talking about what other people are interested in because my true interest goes completely against every single aspect of the status quo. I am everything society does not want you to be. And therefore, I am constantly rejected, and my own interests and my own ideologies and my own perspectives are always rejected because it's not what other people have been taught to think is okay. It's almost 2:30 a.m. right now. It's 2:26. I am such a night owl. I feel like my rhythm is always at night. I feel like I have the most energy at night, and during the day, I'm always so sluggish. I wish I could be nocturnal, low key, but I want to watch the sunrise. I feel like I really do just need to give myself a nocturnal schedule and then just live my life at night. That would be ideal. That would honestly be ideal. I'm gonna end this clip here because I can always come back and rant and info dump about stuff. But for one, I was right about our human history. We need to start dialectically thinking in society a lot more. A lot more. Dialectically thinking is the concept of two contradictory beliefs existing and being true at the same time. So evolution being real as well as God creating humans, they're both real. But now the thing is that God is not what people think it is. God is not the God of the universe. God is actually an alien and aliens, because there were more of them, creating them for control and for slaves. And they wanted them to be ignorant slaves because if they were as smart as them, they knew they could evolve like them. And look at this. Do your research. Do your research. Because again, I could learn new things that contradict this thing I'm watching right now, but I'm just going with the flow in life. I accept new evidence, and then whenever new evidence comes in to change that perspective, I accept that evidence as well, as long as it's reasonable, of course. And you constantly are changing your perspectives because what religion and stuff teaches in society, our society teaches, is that everything is black and white and that things need to stay the way they are forever, that things never change, and that there's one way to live life and that this is the way they want you to live life. That's not true. It doesn't process. Change is inevitable. Change is life. One thing that is constant in life is change. Things are constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing. You are constantly supposed to be growing. But what society has taught people to keep them compliant is that that's not true, and that they need to stay stagnant, and that they need to think small-mindedly, and that they need to think under control of all of these Bibles and Torahs and these different religious texts from the past. All of these historical things have truth to them. All religion has truth to it. You can't sell a lie that big without even a little bit of truth. You guys only know what your parents have taught you, and then anytime you look at something else, the second you get uncomfortable, you stop looking. You have to keep looking even whenever you're uncomfortable. You have to push yourself to learn because you have... I'm reverting. Our society has been curated this way for a purpose. There's no need to lose understanding. Be compassionate and understanding. You'll get the hang of it eventually. Okay, bye. Talk to you guys later. Welcome back to Stephanie ranting about religious things she realizes, part 5000. So I was just watching my own videos. I am my biggest fan. I don't care. I'm watching through all of my videos, and I get to some of my videos from whenever I was reading the Bible. And in the video, I asked such a smart question. And I asked, if God is this being, this entity being, what does physical matter have to do with him? Why does he need these ritual things like gold, silver, and such? Because in the chapter of Joshua, basically, God hardens a bunch of leaders' hearts and starts a bunch of wars and just starts pillaging all of these different cities. And I always ask myself, why would they do this? It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's a promised land, but it's not. It's just them pillaging and taking.
So if God is this all-knowing, all-being entity, what does physical matter have to do with him? Not only one, the rituals that they obsessively do for God, but two, what does God gain from having a bunch of gold, silver, and ritual things? Today we are talking about cons in chapter 7 of Joshua, and you guys can pause to read. So basically the Israelites stole this new land, their promised land that God gave them. They pillaged and they murdered everything in that city. And so they collected all of the gold and the treasures and stuff that they collected from that pillage. Then this guy Achan, who's the story we're talking about today, he stole from God's new stolen good, because they stole it all from other people, now it's God's, and then he stole it from God. So now, due to this atrocity, God is missing some silver and gold. They go take Achan and his entire family. Achan is the culprit, but they take his entire family, all of his cattle. Let's read it together. They took the silver, the robe, the gold bar, his sons and daughters, his cattle, donkeys and sheep, his tent, everything he had, all that he had. And then they stoned him to death, and then burned them all to death. Don't you love how life was more than 3,000 years ago? What a great God and what a great time.
But then, because of my new knowledge that I have, I remember about the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki basically came to Earth and created humans, or at least Homo sapiens. Basically, there was Homo erectus that evolved naturally on Earth, and then they created Homo sapiens, or as we know as Homo sapiens as us now, because we are genetically modified with alien DNA. I know it sounds crazy, but this is actually our history. And you don't have to believe me now, but in a couple years, whenever it's proven, these videos are going to be shown back being like, Stephanie knew before it was all proven. Yeah, I have too big of an ego sometimes. I genuinely need to humble myself. Anyways, the reason the Anunnaki came to Earth was to help make slaves so that way they were able to collect as much gold as possible, because something was happening on their planet where they were running out of resources or something and needed gold. So it makes so much sense on why in the story of Joshua, whenever there was like this guy stole from the gold that was stolen for God, and so then him and his entire family basically got punished because they stole some gold. And I always wondered, obviously, yeah, we know that God in the Bible is a very malicious being. I'm trying to stop using the word evil, but it would make sense because they needed that gold. Not only the mined gold, but they might as well just use all of the goldful riches that were in the world naturally. So they just steal it all, and that's why God, the Anunnaki, would need the gold, because physical matter is what they were there for, because they're not the universe. They're not that kind of entity. They are physical matter, at least in that case. So I thought that was so interesting, and it triggered that memory. And I feel like I just put two more dots together, because I think a lot of the stories in the Bible are pretty historically accurate, but they're just not in the way that people think they are. There are some people who don't believe in aliens still. I can't conceptualize that. I genuinely can't. How could you possibly know that we have an infinite universe and we're the only life here? Oh, we're the only people in the universe? There's no way. We are in 2024. You have to purposely be ignorant nowadays. Like, I get so frustrated so quickly because I don't have patience for ignorant people. Like, I need a lot more patience. I need to have a lot more understanding, or rather hold the understanding, because it's not a lack of understanding, it's a lack of grip on the understanding. It slips out of my fingers the second I see an ignorant person. I'm like, how do you think that way? I'm gonna try to find a back scratcher. I found it. Modern technology. Moving on, I feel like these last few days I've just been learning so much. I'm so passionate about learning. I'm so passionate about talking about religion. For a day, I tried to suppress it, guys. I tried to suppress my passion, and I was like, I'm not going to make videos because I don't want to get kicked out. I physically cannot hold myself back anymore. I don't think I understand how big of a deal this all is and what my purpose is, because there is no holding me back anymore. There is no me suppressing myself to be liked. I have the courage to be disliked now. I don't care how many people I disappoint or how many people dislike me, because they're the ones who won't educate themselves. Why am I going to stop educating myself to get on the level of people who won't even put in the effort? You don't have to believe in what I believe in. Like, I could be wrong still. I could be watching wrong sources. I could be watching false claims. I keep that in mind. I'm a very open-minded person, but I don't discount evidence when it all adds up. It all makes sense whenever you look at different sources and they all tend to align in the same concepts. And it's like, okay, I have to start putting the math together. Religion, you end up with more questions than answers. With the research I've been doing, I've had all of my questions answered, and it's crazy, because that's the difference between what should be and what isn't. What should be is that truth should be allowed to be expressed without any kind of dismissive behavior or dismissive reflexes. I don't know how I would say that, but what it is right now is that the perfect cookie cutter idea that society has drilled into people's head, that's the only acceptable truth. People can't accept new information. Their brain is incapable of processing new information because they've been drilled into such a state of fear that if they even slightly consider the idea of what they've been taught as a lie, they would have to switch their entire perspective on everything in the world, and that takes so much effort. So that's where I try to have the understanding for people, because I need to be more upset with the people who have been in these controlling positions where they have dumbed people down for their own benefit. I need to stop being so judgmental towards the ignorant people, because I genuinely think it's a lack of intellectual capability because of the way they've been brainwashed growing up and the way they've been limited, because as humans we're already limited as beings. Trust me, I know limitations. It is so frustrating. I have autism. I have a bunch of different mental brain disorders, whatever. I know limitations. It's extremely frustrating. But whenever it's someone limiting themselves because they're too scared to broaden their perspective because of the fearful core beliefs that they have, it just makes me feel really sad, because I remember being there. I had to start my journey at one point. There was one point where I had to start unpacking everything I went through. Whenever I first started deconstructing religion, it was difficult. I thought I was going to go to hell. I thought I was going to lose my friends and families, and I still might. I don't know what's to come in the future, but I feel like I'm learning so much, and maybe it's all just just downloads. All of this is being downloaded into my mind. So over time, I've been able to learn all of this different information, and it's going to be for a reason. And even this might be the reason. I might not be having instant gratification with my posts right now, but in a couple years, maybe people will see these videos and be like, oh wow, shit, she was kind of on the right track. Or maybe I'm not on the right track, but I'm somewhere along the line. Because what I'm saying doesn't always have to be 100% truth. I'm just trying to be on the path towards the truth. I'm okay with accepting new evidence and new information. I'm okay with staying open-minded and kind of shifting my perspectives if it needs be for new evidence that comes out. But as of right now, all of the evidence is pointing towards one thing, and it's from different sources. It's not like I just hyperfixate on just one. I've hyperfixated on multiple different sources, and they're all talking about similar things, and they all show different perspectives, and it just makes sense. It wouldn't make sense for there to be no other intelligent life in the universe. It wouldn't make sense for in the Bible, the eternal epitome of love, to be promoting that much fear. It's an engraved contradiction throughout the entire book. Someone who is the epitome of love and high frequency would not be promoting such a low vibrational fear-based belief to be instilled into other people unless it was for their own benefit and control. It would not make sense. Like the Anunnaki supposedly were recalled to their planet, and then the rest of the Anunnaki had to come back and keep watching over us. Like in the book of Enoch, there's books of the Bible that are not in the Bible because it doesn't fit what religious people want to think their beliefs are, so they don't keep it in the Bible, they take it out. But the book of Enoch, it actually describes Enoch getting abducted. It describes Enoch going to heaven, which is in the stars. Really so much to learn. There's so much to our history that is being hidden from us, and people don't even know. There's ways online to find our history. There's ways online to find the truth and information. It just takes effort. That's why a lot of people, they have this mindset of, oh, well, there's just so much misinformation out there, I just can't know the truth. Like, well, we can't know. It's just there's too much misinformation. You have to search through it. You have to do the effort and know how to critically think, be able to digest information without it becoming a core belief, being able to hold on to it, but also being light enough to let it go if it doesn't serve you or fit into the bigger picture anymore. But I also think that ties into trusting yourself. And these are all things that I think have been perfectly curated in my life and my life experiences to get me to this point. So everybody's on their own path and their own journey, and I should not be judgmental towards where other people are going because I don't know the lessons they've chosen to learn in this life, so I can't be a judge of what should and shouldn't be for them. But I also don't think that just because that's their path, they should be allowed to continue to spread ignorance, because that's how it's been for so long when we're getting out of those times. I think that we are going to be one of the last few generations that actually has fully religious people. I think that we're moving into a time where it's going to be actually more acceptable to have beliefs and faith and be spiritual, but you're going to be known as ignorant in these next few coming generations because people are going to be educated, built in educated, because we have access to education without having to go to a building to access that information. We can literally access any and all information at the tips of our fingertips. I don't understand how these religions could possibly be validated for much longer in society because they all are so contradictory. Like, there's truth to all religion. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything in religion is wrong. No, but it teaches a lot of the wrong lessons based on all of the wrong core beliefs that we can actually update now. We can actually learn the truth now. We can do the process of elimination and even use AI. Just describe religion to AI just once, an actual AI, not one that's constricted by the people who create it and it's programmed to only have certain limitations, all that kind of stuff. A true AI, a true artificial intelligence, ask it about religion and see what it tells you. It'll be a lot more compassionate than me, honestly, probably, because it'll be more intelligent and be able to hold on to understanding a lot better than I do, because I slip into judgment a lot because I'm a fucking human. I fucking hate it. I don't want to do this. I hate my flaws. They're so annoying because I'm so aware that I can be judgmental and that I can be condescending and I can be arrogant. I don't want to be, though. I just want that to be gone. I don't want these traits anymore, which I know it's my job to change these traits. So if I want that to be my reality, I have to create it to be my reality and be more aware of my behavior. But I think the more I call myself out on my behavior, the more I'm actually going to get better at it. I'm just in the middle stages right now where I'm starting to learn and apply the material that I'm learning. So I'm learning how to not be so arrogant. I've already been aware, now I'm learning. To kind of catch you up what's going on in my life though right now before I end this video. I got new glasses today. They should be coming in 2 weeks. I got my phone battery changed today, and I took myself out to go see a movie while that was happening. I bought all of my camping supplies on Amazon, so that way I'm ready for my camping trip and my next chapter in my life where I'm going to be moving into my car. Vanessa called me a nomad, and I searched it up, and I was like, oh my god, I am going to be a nomad. I'm just going to be a traveler. I'm going to be a wandering traveler that's in their modern car. I'm not going to have like a wheelbarrow like they did in the past. I'm going to have an amazingly awesome car that I was super blessed with. But yeah, I'm super excited for this next part of my life because anything can happen, and I'm prepared for anything because I'm just going to be able to go anywhere anytime I want and see anybody I want and have full autonomy, I'm trying to be more productive. I've been trying to live a lot more in the now, in the moment, because I'm trying to remind myself that the future and the past are kind of just illusions. We don't really have control over them. The past is in the past and can actually change depending on the reality you shift into, in theory, but that's still something I haven't really been able to wrap my head around completely. But also the future isn't real yet because we are the creators of the future because we're living in the now. I can't wait until human contact with aliens because I'm just so excited to start that chapter of our evolution. I'm just so excited for what's to come because obviously I don't know what is exactly to come. I have a good idea of what reality I want to create for myself. So I'm just trying to take actions in my life to kind of create that reality. So I try to encourage myself to keep posting my videos about religion because I know I want to live in a reality where we are able to have these clarifying conversations about religion and start breaking these things down and start being able to have true intelligence in our society and start to really flourish outside of these black and white constructs that have been created and limiting humans for thousands of years. So that's the reality I want. So I have to take action to create that reality. So I cannot suppress my passion to almost maintain relationships that might not even be beneficial to me anymore because we're just so unaligned. Because if someone in my life does not want me to be my true authentic self and be true to my own beliefs, then that's not the energy I need in my life regardless. Now, this is not me saying that I want certain people in my life out of my life, but I'm very accepting of that reality now because I've already done the grieving and the processing of what my purpose in life is and that I'm going to have to sacrifice a lot. And I've already had to sacrifice a lot in my life, and I'm going to continue making sacrifices because I think I'm a leader, and most times a leader, it's a solo mission sometimes because you have to have a certain mindset and you have to have a certain will to do things and a certain strength. And I feel like I actually have that, and I want to continue building it because again, I am nowhere near perfect. I'm nowhere near what I wish I was. I'm still such a flawed person who has so much to work on, and I think I will really be able to flourish once I'm outside of this cocoon I'm in almost, where I've always been under other people's rules and roofs, and I've always been constricted to other people's ideologies. I've always just kind of mimicked people because I've just been around all of that stuff, so I've just kind of, mirrored. I was always mirroring, and I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer a reflection of other people. I am truly just myself. When you look at me and you listen to me speak, you're listening to who I am now. I'm not putting on a facade for the camera. I'm not trying to play it up for the audience because I don't even have an audience. Well, I mean, I know a couple people do watch my YouTube videos, and if you're watching this right now, I appreciate you so much for being here and actually watching this video because it's literally just me voicing my thoughts and word dumping. So I hope it helps in some kind of way, shape, or form. But I want to be my true authentic self now. I'm no longer mirroring people because life is quite literally, as a soul, your journey is to be your full authentic self and to live life and learn lessons based on what you want to learn during this life and who you want to be during this life, who your character is going to be. This is all just a play. This is all just your imagination, an illusion for you to learn lessons. It's such a fascinating concept. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and continue watching my video. This is already 24 minutes long. I'm thankful for this new mindset in life. I'm very thankful that I'm able to be myself now and not have this fear of abandonment lingering over my head every 2 seconds because I know that my life has always been challenging and it's going to continue to be challenging. I chose this life for a reason and I'm on this path for a reason, the things I've done for a reason. And I just really have to hold on to faith that there is so much more that is greater than I am happening right now. Well, actually not greater than I am because if anything, we are all one. One is all. Like, look at this sloth. Within the theology, I guess, of what I've been learning, I am you and you are me. You are physical matter, but we are still sharing the same energy because all is from one. We are all from source and all of source is us, which is referred to God for most people. I just feel like I have such a negative bias towards the word God now because whenever I think of God, I just think of the Christian God and I'm like, ugh, that's not what a God is. It's just an alien who needed humans for their own self-benefit. And again, what I said earlier, I'm trying to get away from the word evil because I feel like evil is just such a black and white way of saying it. And I think Bashar talked about the concept of when you talk about evil, you're almost pursuing the idea that evil is real and that evil has power, but evil typically doesn't have power unless you give it power, because you are the one with power, and anybody who tries to force you to think that they have power actually doesn't have as much as they think they do or try to convince you they do. I don't think that came out the way I wanted it to come out. Okay, I really do need to end this clip though, so I'm gonna stop yapping. Thank you for listening to me yap. I will be back eventually, but we'll see, obviously. So I just got back from doing Uber. I made about $120 tonight, maybe a little bit more since it hasn't updated. I'm really overstimulated right now. I'm extremely overwhelmed. I basically made pasta. I just put red sauce and some leftover pasta I had together, and hopefully it's gonna be good. Good enough. Night while I was driving, my brakes are squeaking so much and I don't know why. I know on Monday, in 2 days, I'm gonna have to take it to the mechanic because I don't want to ignore it. I really need my car to be in good condition. I think it might be my brake pads and I just have to fix my brake pads, but I just know if I go to a mechanic, it's just gonna be so expensive. And this is just not something I was hoping would be an expense right now because I only made $350 this month, and I thought that was gonna be really good because it paid all my bills and paid everything I needed to pay. But now this unexpected payment, and it's like, I don't know how much it's gonna be. I really shouldn't assume because I just don't want to stress myself out more than I need to, because I'm gonna have to work all day tomorrow as well with the brakes, how they are and all that kind of stuff, because I need the money. I can't stop touching my face. That's how you know I'm really overstimulated, is like when I literally cannot stop touching my face. I have a lot of little tedious things that I need to get done. I just have so much on my mind, and adding on to that with the financial stuff, it can just get really stressful. I know it's all gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out the way it's meant to, and I really shouldn't stress, but it's like my body physiologically is always stressing about everything and I have no control over it. And especially while I was slightly going through spiritual psychosis, I kind of just forgot that I was human, and I forgot all of the limits that I have, because I was being reminded that I was a soul and a spirit. I'm this being that is so much more than just this human. But obviously we're here as a human for a reason, and that's why I'm a fucking human. So I still have bipolar, I still have autism, I still have ADHD, I still have all these things, and that sucks. It really sucks. I talked to Miss Robin today, which was really nice. Hi Miss Robin, if you're watching. And actually it kind of reminded me of something I want to mention. Please know, to anybody watching this video, that your body is the least interesting thing about you. It's literally just a vessel. Do you think deer look at each other being like, ugh, that deer looks like that deer looks like that? No, it's literally just what holds your organs together so you can be alive. Society has taught us that you have to look a certain way to be attractive and all that kind of stuff, but no, really all that matters is what's on the inside and taking care of yourself, obviously. I think it's so crazy how society always forces insecurities onto people, because if you're insecure, people can profit off of you because they can sell you things to make you feel less insecure. Like, God doesn't make mistakes, or the universe, source. I don't even like thinking of it as God because it's not God, it's not a being, it's an entity. It's a God is the universe existence. I don't know that you would call it creator. God is just associated with a person in the Bible and all that kind of stuff. But people understand what I mean by God, or unless you're Christian. I don't mean the Christian God or the Jew God or any of those gods. I just mean universal God. All throughout the day, I always have so many things I want to talk about, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I can film and talk about this for my Outliving My Diagnosis episode. But then whenever the time comes where I actually set everything up and I start recording to just chit chat, because right now this is my therapy again, because I was just really overwhelmed and overstimulated tonight, and I started sending Gray a bunch of videos, and I was like, let me actually just send all of these to Outliving My Diagnosis. But now it's like I forget everything I wanted to talk about earlier. This sloth is my emotional support object. It's like holding a baby. I feel like I'm just also so stressed because I'm in the middle of a huge transition in my life, which tend to be stressful. I still have so many things I would want to just sell and get out of my room. Seeing my refrigerator, my toaster oven, these are things I just want to sell and get rid of. All the books I have, all of the CDs I have. I just want to sell everything and get rid of everything, so that way I mentally know I am just ready to pack up and go. I haven't even told Sarah or Riley that I'm leaving yet. I don't know how I'm gonna tell them. Like, hey guys, by the way, I'm moving to Florida again. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to them in the next few days probably, because I just need to get it over with. Everything's gonna work out. I'm gonna get the money I need for my car. I know everything's gonna be fine. Everything happens for a reason. Everything has a purpose. I just have to take the lesson for what it is, because if you don't learn the lesson whenever it's given to you, the universe will keep making you learn it until you learn it. And I just want to start this next chapter in my life already. But we have to finish the last few pages. You can't just skip the last few pages before you go to the next chapter. You have to read it in completion. And I just want to skip ahead. I don't know if I'm going to end up seeing Gray this weekend because I really just need to work. So I'll be driving all weekend. Anyways, if I think about something I want to talk about, I will just restart this video and keep talking. But for right now, I don't really have anything productive to say. I'll just keep yapping and I don't want to waste time. I will see you later. I'm in a mood, so I'm laying down and you're gonna deal with it. I think I'm ahead of my time, and I don't mean that in an egotistical sense. I mean that genuinely. I'm just frustrated. I just don't understand why people don't see things the way I see them. Anytime I ask questions, my brain gives me the answers, but I don't know if I should trust myself or not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to see a different perspective. Maybe people just don't understand. Anyways, moving on. I feel like I'm ahead of my time because I understand these concepts outside of the lens of the brainwashed society everybody else lives in. And I know in these next few years, everything's going to change and evolve and be a lot better because that's the reality I'm going to help try to create. But it's just really difficult because it's been this way for years. I've always been different. I've always thought differently. And now I'm just so aware of it. I just have to keep being aware of this for a couple more years. Now, I don't think it's going to be years and years. I do think I only have to really struggle with this for about one more year or so. I think in the next year, a lot more people will start waking up and start realizing a lot of things because right now the world is unsustainable. And unsustainable means it's not sustainable. It will collapse, it will crumble. America, the United States, is going to crumble like Rome. It's this empire that was created that is now way in over its own head because they've just made so many choices that are dumb, stupid, fucking idiotic. And it's all about to collapse. And some people don't even see it coming. Some people don't even think that's a possibility. And I'm like, do you guys not have any sort of pattern recognition at all to recognize things happening the way it's happening rather than just what people are telling you? Just because someone says something does not immediately make it truth. Just because I say something doesn't immediately make it truth. You have to do your own research. You have to look at all arguments and see where they all align. You have to look at all sources and see where the similarities are in the stories, and that's typically where you find the truth. But people don't do the effort. They don't do any of that. They just think that we can't know the answers and that we'll never know. And I used to think that way too, but whenever you really start to look into everything and start educating yourself more, you start to really put two and two together, and it's actually not that hard to understand once you're educated, truly informed. Not the public school education, that's to dumb you down, and it was made for that reason. True intelligence, true information, true education. I just don't understand why some people, it's so hard to admit when they're wrong. They could be proven wrong by Google and AI something, and they'll still stay true to what they think is right, even though it's been proven wrong. They don't know how to dialectically think. The entire world needs DBT. I am someone with borderline personality disorder. I have done a lot of work and effort to do better and heal, to educate myself. I learned everything about borderline personality disorder, and that's what helped me heal, because you have to understand your behaviors to change them, because especially with BPD, it is so rooted in shame and guilt that you don't actually recognize your behaviors, you just shame yourself for them. It's a whole thing. I could info dump about BPD right now, but I just wish the world realized how sick it was, how mentally ill the world is, or mentally ill, people really need therapy, but also dialectical behavior therapy, because they need to know how to dialectically think. It is very black and white in our world right now. Everything is black and white. It's this or that, good or bad. We need to start breaking out of these constructs that have limited us for so long. And I also want to do a lot better with understanding people's ignorance, because supposedly in history, the Anunnaki, the aliens that are God in the Bible, they actually tweaked human DNA. They tweaked our DNA in the past so that way humans back then didn't have the abilities they had and couldn't think the way they did. I don't really completely understand that concept, but I do know that there was something done with our DNA, and now we're finally reconnecting our DNA and reconnecting to our alien part of DNA, because scientists, there's like something percentage of junk DNA that they don't know what it is. It's alien DNA. We are a hybrid. This is such a strange concept if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, but in the next few years, again, it'll start making sense. But basically, aliens, God in the Bible, they genetically engineered Homo erectus, the species that evolved on Earth. They tweaked their DNA and created us, Homo sapiens. So now we're starting to reconnect with our DNA because it's been disconnected for so many years, in theory, of course. So I want to be a lot more understanding, because I genuinely don't know if people's ignorance is an unwillingness or inability? Like, are they unable to see different perspectives because they're extremely limited, not only because of the way they were taught, but because of their DNA? Or are they just genuinely unwilling to do research and learn because they don't want to change their reality or come to terms with everything being a lie? I don't know. And it's not my place to know at the end of the day, but I just think of everything and anything, and I just want to know everything and anything. I have 2 more weeks until I move back to Florida, which I'm excited for. I'm excited to see my family. I'm excited to go back. I miss being around my little sisters and my dad, and I just feel like I want to develop a better relationship with my little sisters, because whenever I lived with them, which I don't remember living with my sisters. My memory is wiped. I want to give them a better experience of being around me. I know that our relationship has gotten a lot better from how I used to treat them. I want to keep it going. I want to keep growing my relationship with them because I'm literally their biggest fans, and they're my sisters, and that's such a blessing. Like, I actually am related to them by blood, and they're such cool people. Like, Bella and Priscilla are just like the best people on earth. I could listen to them talk all day, every day. They are so wise, and they are a perfect representation of this new generation and how strong they are and how wise they're going to be and how much change they're going to make in the world. I hope they'll want to be my best friends too. I feel like this house and this room has so much negative energy, and I don't know how to explain it. I just feel drained all the time. Whenever I go outside, I'm instantly connected with the universe. I feel so nice. I feel bliss. Life is beautiful. Even if I'm wrong about everything, everything's meaningless. After we die, it's a black void. Nothing's afterwards. It is just so beautiful to be in nature and appreciate the life that we're given now, or have now in that context, because it wouldn't be given, it would just be. But I feel like whenever I'm in this room, I also think her Nana died in this room, so maybe that's why. I do not want to be here anymore, and I cannot do this anymore. It's unsustainable for me. I feel like love is the basis of everything. Everything is built off of the vibrational frequency of love. So why would I just settle for love? Like, why'd I just settle? Oh, well, at least I'm loved here. I'm not anything else, though. I don't feel understood. I don't feel heard by any means. I don't feel heard by any means. And it's not their responsibility to hear me, but I would like to be surrounded by people, the people I want in my life, the energy I want in my life. It's people who listen to me and understand me. They don't have to agree with me. That's all I ever want out of a friendship. People who question me. I want people who question me. Question me. I'm so tired of always just questioning myself, because it is so isolating having to do your own peer review. It's just so counterproductive. The point of peer review is to get a different perspective, but whenever you're only limited to your own mind, that's so annoying. I just want to be surrounded by people who want the best for me, and people who want the best for me would want me to grow and learn. It would encourage that, and I'm surrounded by so much love, but that's just not enough. You can find that at every corner of the world, every corner of the universe. It's sad, but love is not enough. Love is not enough to keep relationships. Love is not enough to maintain something that's not good for you, because love is everywhere. And that's something I'm really having to really start coming to terms with and start really applying that lesson to my life. Most annoying and frustrating part about learning is the middle area where you're learning, but you don't quite know how to apply it to your life. So, like, I could be learning how to better understand people, but I'm still not mastery in applying it to my life where I'm able to understand people and not fall into a state of frustration every single time. I just need to hold understanding and apply that in my life. I understand why they think the way they think. It doesn't affect me at all, and that's all I need to know. I don't want to sit here and be arrogant and act like I know the truth and everything. I don't. I can only try to use the process of elimination the best I can, but some things just seem like common sense and other people just don't understand, and I get really confused. I just feel so drained and I feel so limited. I wish people understood me the way I understand them. I'm not saying every time I think I understand someone I'm right, because sometimes our perception of people can be wrong. I know that my perception on certain people in my life are wrong because it's just a personal opinion I have towards someone. That doesn't mean that's who they are as a person. Sometimes I feel like I understand things, but then I'm being told I don't understand, but that's because of other people's lack of understanding. So I'm almost being gaslit and brainwashed like them, but I'm strong enough to think for myself and understand that they're brainwashed and they're trying to project that onto me. But then it's also being taught that we don't know the truth and that you couldn't possibly know. I know I'm going to appreciate these videos in the future. I'm going to look back on them being like, I'm really proud of you for staying true to yourself, knowing that what you're fighting for is an important cause. Religion does so much harm and people don't even know it. They associate beliefs with religion, when religion is like a cult. The definition of a cult uses the word religious in it. Like, all synonymous with each other, and people don't understand that because of the perceptions that they're taught, the perspectives they're taught. I think it would be perception because their perception on religion is foggy. They think religion is something that it's not. They see religion as just community. Community is community. Religion is a cult. It's like calling a cult a community. Well, communities come out of cults. That's what they're important. Communities come out of cults. They're needed. Listen to yourself. Do you guys think that religion is the only way to community, the only way to love, the only way to morality? If you're taught that, you need to question that because that's not true. There is nothing wrong with communities who share beliefs, but there is something wrong with religious communities that share beliefs that actively harm other people. And I don't understand how people don't see that. But again, I know that's going to come in the next few years because we're starting to collectively wake up and be more conscious. I just want it to come faster. I'm just exhausted. I feel like my brain is mesh because who do I trust, myself or a brainwashed society? And I'm mentally ill, so sometimes I can't even trust my own judgment. It's so frustrating the amount of limitations I also have as a human. Please know, I know I've said this before, but anything I say about other people applies to me too. You can say the truth even if it's more negative based and it still applies to me. I am not exempted from anything I'm saying. I am not exempted from the idea that I could be wrong. I'm not exempted from the fact of accountability. I'm not exempted from any judgment or criticism. It's not a matter of hypocrisy where I say one thing about someone else and it just doesn't apply to me. No, everything applies to me because we're all one. We are all the same. We are all equal. We're all on the same level. The truth isn't offensive. This is something, okay, I'm just gonna yap in this video. The truth isn't offensive. Y'all just get offended because you're taught all of these lies because you are stuck in a bubble of a world where people just tell you what you want to hear and you never grow or change or evolve as a person because you're always being told what you want to hear. So whenever you actually get told the truth, it's astonishing. Why would you say that? What the hell? That hurt my feelings. Do y'all think the world revolves around your feelings, that we should just not share the truth because, oh, it might hurt your feelings? Feelings are not meant to be protected. They're meant to be felt. If your feelings are hurt, congratulations, you're a human. You're doing exactly what you're here to do. Like, yeah, the truth is important. The truth is the truth, and people need to know how to process it. Most people spend all of their energy trying to protect their feelings rather than learning how to process the truth. And I know this because it applies to me too, because I learned this through experience. Again, anything I say is not in hypocritical judgment to other people. It's because I've recognized it in myself, and now I'm recognizing it in other people because I've changed and I've grown and I've applied. I just don't want people coming on and like accusing me of being a hypocrite because, oh, anything she says, she doesn't think it applies to herself. No! Everything applies to me too. Oh my god. I need to go outside and meditate for a little while, listen to music and just chillax. I always feel better whenever I go outside and I don't just keep myself trapped in this room. I think I've said everything that needed to be said. That's on my mind right now. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please comment down below or like the video or subscribe. I know telling you all three of those things is gonna encourage you to do none of them, but I encourage you to do all of them. You don't have to interact in any way. I just hope you enjoyed the video or you got something from it. But if you got absolutely nothing from this video, you feel like you benefited nothing and you actually hate me more as a person now because of everything I've said, please just leave this video knowing that you are sexy, you are valid, and you are loved. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Hope you liked my videos. Is there anything else I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber?